Welcome everybody to another episode of I Should Be Painting, my weekly vlog. Today we're going to be taking a look at not only 3 of my favorite projects from this week on the internet, but we're also going to be talking about what happens when I want to change games or one of my friends wants to change games. Many of us wargamers don't just have one game that we play, although there is that one that seems to be tried and true that we play forever and ever. For me, of course, that's Warhammer 40,000, but there are a lot of different miniature games out there, and many of us play a lot of different systems. I think we all know that the hobby aspect of our gaming is often a solo activity, but the actual gaming part of our gaming, of course, is not. It requires other people. Some of us have gaming groups, some of us have best friends, some of us have both. And the bottom line is there are a lot of different games out there, and there are a lot of different games to try. So what happens when you want to start a new game, but your friends don't? Just as an aside, if you are an X-Wing player, or if you're thinking about getting into X-Wing, or if you want to play Marvel Crisis Protocol, both Marvel Crisis Protocol and X-Wing have official single-player versions of the game that are available right now. So if you just absolutely have no way to see anybody and you still want to get a game on your game board, check out the single-player version of X-Wing and Marvel Crisis Protocol. I can remember 2 times in my past where other people playing games that I wasn't playing had a significant impact on me. The first time is when we moved into this very house and I went to my local game store. I had my nice big box, I believe it was 7th edition at the time, of all my 40k stuff. I show up to find some games on the miniature game night and there was nobody to play. Everybody at my game store was playing either Bolt Action, Drop Fleet, or War Machine, and I was on the outskirts with my 40k stuff, not sure what to do. Second time this has happened, it's happened between Josh and I a few times where a new game system comes out. Oftentimes game systems are released at Adepticon and Nova, and right afterwards they sort of sweep the nation, they sweep the gaming times. Josh really wanted to play Marvel Crisis Protocol, and I really wanted to play Star Wars Legion. First thing is, know that there are a lot of different games to play and a lot of different games to try, and be aware of your hobby budget. But don't just be aware of your own hobby budget, also be aware of your friend's hobby budget, and maybe even the other people at the store. Because the last thing you want to do is get involved in something that's very expensive. No matter how inexpensive a game seems up front, all miniature games can get very expensive very quickly when you factor in mats and terrain and all the different pieces and expansions that are coming out. So being aware of your budget for starting new things is very important, and understand that not everybody may be able to afford to start a new game, and even yourself, you might have to skip on some of the tried and true new things that are coming out for your well-established game. Next, if you just can't agree, go ahead and buy the starter box yourself. Most starter boxes come fully equipped for 1, 2, sometimes even 3 people, but definitely for 2. And usually the starter box is a reasonable price, somewhere between $100 and $200, and you get everything that you need to play the game. So if you just absolutely have to play the new game, buy the starter box yourself. One of the best things that you can do once you buy the starter box is to learn the rules yourself and teach that game to your friends or to the other players at your store. Don't expect everybody just to jump in right away and be as excited as you are. Maybe the theme is something that you've always wanted to play, like Shogun Warriors or Marvel characters or spaceships. It really doesn't matter. If it gets you excited, you should be responsible for the rules, you should know how to play the game, and you should be the one teaching others to play. After you teach somebody the game, if they don't like it or they don't want to get into it, don't feel bad. Don't have an expectation that just because you like it, somebody else has to like it. There are a lot of resources to find other players to play a new game for. For example, Tabletop Minions app Game 4 is a great way to find other players, but so is Facebook and your local hobby store. So don't be limited to just the people you know. If you really want to play a game, trust me, you can find other people to play it with you. And lastly, just be aware that finding new miniatures and finding new systems is a fun part of the hobby, and it's always great to try something different, but there are a lot of tabletop fads. This is true in both board gaming and miniature gaming. These are games that come in hot, heavy, and fun at something like Adepticon, and they take over the scene for months, sometimes even a year, and then before you know it, they are in the past and they are history. I think that we are all aware that how Guild Ball in the past seemed like the biggest, most amazing game that has ever come out, and everybody was playing Guild Ball, and it's not so big anymore. That's okay. Fun, quick skirmish games that are different are fantastic to get into, and trying new games every year is a great way to support the artists and the community. So go ahead, try new games, get excited about things. Don't always expect your friends to get involved, but if you do absolutely have to have your friend play with you, you should buy the starter box and you should learn the rules. I hope that this has been informative. Let's go take a look at my top 3 favorite projects from the internet this week. Off to the computer. Well, here we are in the office at the computer, and we're going to take a look at my 3 favorite projects from this past week. And let me just warn you, we got a lot of Lego stuff going on. So our first stop is Facebook, and we are heading over to Maximum Heresy. You should check out this page for sure. It's a link in the notes below. Maximum Heresy does converts of Warhammer 40k crossed with Lego heads, and he does custom paint jobs and all sorts of detailing and makes these little scenes and these fun characters, and I am just absolutely in love with it. I'm sure you all know that I love Lego, particularly Star Wars Lego, and of course I also love 40k, and I've often seen and thought about a Warhammer 40k Lego army, but that wouldn't be WYSIWYG. However, if you just replace their heads, it definitely is WYSIWYG. His poses are just so lifelike and awesome. You can tell that he's got a whole story behind them. This one just makes me giggle. Like, I love it. I absolutely love this. So if you want more Lego 40k mashups, check out Maximum Heresy. Once again, the link is in the notes below. We are moving right along. We are going to Flickr. I believe this is the first time that we were at Flickr. Now, I saw this project on Facebook, but I couldn't tell if it was the original creator. So I did a reverse image search, and I eventually came across a link, and it brought me to Flickr, and I assume that this Flickr account is the creator. I still don't know for sure. But I am going to send him a message just to make sure. But anyways, amazing, magnificent Lego Gundam project with this huge, I mean, just look, it's so big. It's so big. Like, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-bogglingly huge and complicated and wonderful. And I really hope that this is the creator of this project. So if you want to take a look at the pictures, check out the Flickr below. Next, we are going back to Instagram. We're going to take another look at Philip Jensen 83, whose Instagram is Quck&Dirty Brushwork. He asked me to do a shout out last time when I was featuring his work, and I forgot to do that. So, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry that I forgot to do that, and I'm making it up. You get featured twice, and here is your Instagram. This is the project we were looking at last time, this absolutely incredible chrome that he is doing for his knights along with the LEDs, but he has so much more to look at, so go ahead and check out his Instagram. Once again, it will be in the link below. Well, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed this episode of I Should Be Painting, and don't forget that we are going to be having a new battle report coming out very soon. Josh played the single-player Marvel Crisis Protocol. That is coming out, so if you don't want to miss that, hit that like button, hit that bell button, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. That would be excellent. And if you want to take your patronage to the next level, check out our Patreon in the notes below. And as always, we'll see you on the table.